Mm-hmm.
Huh? You ready?
Yes. Good afternoon to everyone. We are the Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association. My name is Willetta Wilson, Secretary of TTSIDA. Good afternoon to our President, Mr. Allan Ferguson, and our Trustee, Mr. Anson Babalal. Good afternoon to all the members of the media present and to everyone who's looking on Facebook and YouTube. Today we come to speak to you about the issue of cable theft. Let me introduce our President, Mr. Ferguson, to address you.
Good afternoon to each and everyone. I want to thank the media for coming. I want to also thank my staff and my executive to being here today. Today is a day that Yes, today is a day that I would like Trinidad and Tobago to understand and to know that the Scrap Iron Association is not an organization that formed yesterday. This is an old organization. We have more than 30 years in the business. So we understand when we have situation to deal with, we have to come out and deal with it no matter what it is. I remember in 2011, it had a situation where someone had cut up a bridge and they had rolled into one of our scrapyard with the material. And immediately the red card had been flagged on this material. And we as an organization, many times, people come into our yards, our member yards, with material. We immediately call one another to find out and put certain things in place to make sure that things like these do not take place again. So immediately, we had pressed all the buttons that need to press, and the police has been stepped in and catch the guys. But that's not the only thing. You remember in 2011, it had a state of emergency because people were stealing material like bridges and all kinds of things. And we as an organization, we immediately, when they shut down our industry, we asked for a meeting with the government to straighten out the situation. And it was good. The government at the time had made sure and give us the Attorney General and certain other ministers to speak with, which was the UNC government in 2011. We had speak with them and we had also straighten out. Same TSCT problem also too. And immediately after, they opened back the industry because we showed them what we do as an organization and what we continue to do in 2022. What we as an organization have to do. Now, we as an organization, we need to put things in place to make sure that this industry do not shut down by the government. And I will show you why, and I will explain to you why it looked like they're leaving it, that it will be able to shut down again. But we, because we understand it, and we know it, and we see it play up already, we immediately, when it started to happen, and people start to thief the TSCT wire, we immediately write the Commissioner of Police and explain to him we would like a meeting with him to able to stop this situation that's taking place. Because we know if you leave this situation to keep on going on, people will lose their life. And we are saying we don't want no more people to lose their life before they stop it. So we is here today to let you know what we as an organization, what is our position. Because we as scrap dealers, we have members will not entertain these acts coming in our yards. We will not authorize it. We will not support it. But it have people who don't have licenses, people who just want to come in this business, just to pull a little change, and they don't care what they do. So we is here to explain to Trinidad and Tobago as an organization who is not 10 years old, but more than 30 years old. We have the experience, we have the knowledge. And we is just saying, Mr. Commissioner, I want to let the Secretary read a letter that we send to the Commissioner so you will understand where is our position on this TSTT wire. Read for me, please.
This latest letter is dated February 23rd, 2022. It's addressed to Mr. McDonald Jacob, Acting Commissioner of Police. Reference, meeting to discuss TSTT cable theft. The Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association humbly requests a meeting with you to discuss the prevalence of theft of TSTT cable wires. TTSIDA takes note that the industry as a whole, and in particular our members, are negatively impacted by these regular occurrences of theft. In this regard, we understand that something needs to be done urgently if this industry is to survive the negative associations that these incidents create. TTSIDA would like to propose to you a solution we believe will contribute greatly to the alleviation of this problem. We hope that you can allow us this opportunity to assist the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in the prevention of these selfish acts. We look forward to your reply. Thank you for your time. Respectfully.
Now, this is the Commissioner of Police we writing it. And some people ask me how I will address this situation. I tell them all due respect to him. I think he's a good gentleman. I believe he work hard. But honestly, I really believe they don't really care about poor people in this country. And I sadly saying it, but I believe so. Because I believe it was a different organization asked for a meeting. Now that is not to say the other commissioner before, who come before, when we ask for a meeting, we get it. Now I don't know the situation, but I'm just trying to tell him that if we leave it alone, a lot of people will lose their life, and this organization will be taken away from us, if we allow it to go how it's going. There's a lot of people operating in this industry who don't have licenses, who just have yards, who don't know what is the rules, who is just operating. And we is asking the commissioner, we need to sit down with you, that we could put back our organization on top, where we're not accustomed with all the steps taking place all around Trinidad and Tobago. We need to stop it because it's going international and people are seeing it, people are hearing it, and we is getting called every single day. And we need to do something serious about this step. And I want, before I go into the real meaning of this news conference, I just want the Secretary to read the act where govern us as an industry. So Trinidad and Tobago will understand what I am saying is that you cannot operate scrap business without a license. Because you send out all type of things and all kind of things that people come and they do all type of things without a license. We are saying they're breaking the law with operating without a scrapyard licenses. And I just want you to read from the act so Trinidad and Tobago to know it ain't just coming from me, it's coming from an act where it's old also. Read.
This is the Old Metal and Marine Stores Act of 1904. This is an excerpt of the Act. Section 3 states, it shall not be lawful for any person to carry on the business of a dealer in old metal or marine stores unless he has previously obtained a license under this Act. Section 4 continues, Part 1, licenses under this Act shall be granted by and at the discretion of the licensing committee of the district in which the premises to be licensed are situated. 2, no such license shall be granted without the previous report of the police officer in charge of the division in which the premises to be licensed are situated and before the expiration of 21 days, at least after application in writing has been made, therefore to the licensing committee. And 3 says, such licenses shall be in the form in the first schedule and shall be annual licenses terminating on the 31st of December of the year for which they are granted.
And you know what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago? A lot of people is operating this business without license. We make the plea early this year for people to go and get their license so they will understand what is the criteria to purchase material. Because when you purchase TSCT material, you're encouraging people to steal TSCT wire. But if we as scrap dealers stay away from purchasing the wire, you will find that it will have no market for TSCT wire because you ain't supposed to have TSCT wire unless you're authorized by TSCT to have TSCT wire. I am saying people come from all over the world, and this is the part, all over the world, and stay in Trinidad here, and get ownership of yards without how we know, we as scrap dealers, we know the kind of thing we have to go through to be able to get a license. And sometimes we want to know if they have license or they don't have license. And my information, most of them don't have license. Most of them. But you know what happened? Some yards, small yards, weren't able to purchase TSCT wire because they cannot pull a copper container. Because we know you have to have a lot of money to be able to purchase copper wire, to be able to pull a container. It don't happen in a small yard. It only could happen in big yards. So today, I am calling on the Commissioner of Police to meet with us, to be able to stop this theft all over Trinidad. Because it could stop immediately. But you leave it, you're leaving it to continue go along, and people will lose their life more. And then you will look at us, or you will want to take away this industry from us. And we are saying, forget that. Forget that. Let me see about it. Let me take care of it. Because we understand the youth in Trinidad. More could be done to help them because they don't have the understanding about theft. We can look at this. A 23-year-old man died. He leave his mother home because he can't get work. He can't get this, he can't get that. We are saying, let us do more also for the youth. That they weren't able to go in these kind of stealing ways that they have. So all I'm saying, please, Mr. Commissioner, again, we're calling on you to meet with us, that we could be able to stop, we could be able to talk to you, that you will be able to have the understanding about this industry. So all this stuff all over the country were able to stop. Because it's affecting people. It's affecting plenty people. You must be able to do something about it. We can't allow it to go so. Because this industry means plenty for us. A lot of people invest a lot of money into a lot of equipments. And if you allow this to go along and the government take this from us or stop or close down this industry, you know what could happen to us? A lot of people who invest a lot of money and owe in the banks will end up in a lot of problems. So always asking on y'all, meet with us so we can be able to solve this problem. It's not a big thing. We're not asking you to give us money, you know. We're just asking to meet with us that we can solve this problem that's taking place in Trinidad. It's not one person lost their life since this is going on, you know. It's about 3 people lost their life since this is going on. So it must be urgent to see us and deal with this matter. I know you're a hard worker. I know you're a good man. I know you met with us already. But that don't take away what's going on now. We need to meet with you. We need to straighten out the situation. And before I come on, I talk to the police and I tell them I'm going to deal with this matter, you know. They say he in the hospital and face it. So we let you know, we need a meeting as soon as possible to deal with this matter. We don't need a next life to lose. We don't need a next young person to lose their life because of we just leaving it and doing nothing. Because I'm telling you all scrap dealers, let me tell you something to because you know it has some of you purchasing it too, and we know that, and we know who's y'all. Let me explain something to you. If you continue to purchase this TSCT wire, you know what will happen to this industry? They will take it from us, or they will shut it down. So have that in your mind. Leave that TSCT wire. If you don't authorize to have TSCT wire, leave it alone. And I hardly have any more to say. And all I want to say, the people who without license, you see from tomorrow, we're going to identify you. If your license is not straightened out, you know what we used to do? You know what we used to do? In 2012 and 11, we used to go and check you out. And we got started back. And if you don't have your license, we used to go and let the police come. Because we as an association could do it. And it will be done from next week or this week. We will be checking you to see if you have license. And if you don't have license, trouble take you. You cannot be operating license and you have no license. You're going and purchase material all over the place. You don't care if it's stolen material. You don't care what it is. And the people do not sell people material who don't have license because it's against the law. If you do not have a scrapyard license, you're not supposed to be purchasing material. It's against the law. Not I said, the law said. It's causing a lot of problem. And it will destroy our industry. All international people calling us and asking us about it. And we have a commission and doing nothing about it, but I have to receive all these calls. All due respect to you, Mr. Commissioner, we need to straighten out the situation before anybody else lost their life. It's important. It's urgent. It's life-saving. It's to protect the young people. And before I go, I need to say it first and for last. We know, and call is coming into us. Some of our members also. Some, a little handful, not plenty. A little bit is also purchasing the material too. Also purchasing the TSCT material too. So what I will ask from you, resist and stop purchasing TSCT wire. Because when you do it, you encourage them to thief more wire. So what we can say at the moment, anybody have any questions to ask us in reference to what we discuss, no problem.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ferguson. Jassy Gonzalez, Trinidad Express.
Yeah.
In light of the theft of the copper wires, has the Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association been threatened with a shutdown by government?
We know and we understand it. Anything happened already could happen again. You remember they shut down this industry because they were stealing bridge? Right. One bridge or two bridges were being stealing from people who want to didn't care what they do, and they shut down this industry. And you know, when things like these things happen, you know it could happen again. So based on what went on already, that is our problem now. And we just have a funny feeling they're leaving it. Because I would have some information that some people want to come and open big shop here in Trinidad. And it's because of my little mouth, or by always rumbling. It ain't the reason why they open yet. But if they get the opportunity to shut down this industry and for the other people to open and come in behind back door, trust me, we know nothing is impossible in Trinidad.
Yeah, Clint Chanzak Newsday. You could give us an extent as to the way in which the quantum of cable theft that you all are aware that's happening and how exactly it's threatening the industry?
Now, if you know, copper wire is one of the most expensive things for us to purchase in the industry. It's an expensive kind of material. And when they steal it, they go in and burn it. And they then come into your yards. And then other people could use that to put good ones and old ones in it. And that you hardly could make it out after. So we are saying, without us meeting, to be able to guide them to how we could go forward by stopping all this, it will continue, and then we will know that we lost our industry.
Good afternoon, Rondor Daulat, Guardian Media. What is the fines or the penalty for people who are caught in this illegal act? Is there any implications as well by the association?
All these theft have charges on it. All of them. I don't have the figure here because we didn't go into it, but as we speak here, we probably could get it for you and tell you how much charges, what charge they could get, how much months they had to spend, how much money they had to pay. But we know the new act, where it's amended, we know it's about $200,000 or $300,000. If you have anything stealing in your possession that's stolen, we know that charges is high. But because we still governed by the old act, we know it's not that big fees. But I could tell the police and them what could be done. Because if certain things is going on, we as an organization, we must know where is the soft hole and where is the hard hole.
What would you recommend in such a case?
No, but it will be wrong of me if I could tell you what I could tell the police, because that will make me know. That will put myself in a strong position. But what I will advise them is how we could go forward to able to stop it. But I can't tell you what I could tell them, because that will be wrong of me to say that here.
Earlier in the media conference, you mentioned that you were attempting to meet with the current acting police commissioner, and you have a proposal or proposals to discuss. Do you mind sharing at least one or two proposals?
All right. I know, well, as I said, we as an organization, if we're going to meet a commissioner, or we will meet the commissioner, whatever it might be, we cannot say what we will tell them. We cannot say that because it's not a proposal that will tell you we will build more highways, or we will put more posts, or we will do some kind of thing. This is telling you serious thing, you know. This is not about a proposal in reference to building something or making money, you know. So we have to be careful how we say this.
Mr. Ferguson, express again. Would you be able to tell us how many licensed scrap iron dealers there are versus how many unlicensed scrap iron dealers there are?
That's a very good question. Our organization have 125 members that we know licensed. But as it go along for some months, because since before the COVID, a lot of yards is being come up all over the place. And the licenses is like, you could say there's probably about 50 or 60 yards without license in Trinidad. And I'm telling you something that I ain't sure. You got about 50 to 60 yards without license.
Has this figure increased during the pandemic?
Yes, and that is what caused it.
Can
and
you
I could tell you
say,
something too. There are people from foreign, there are people internationally come here and doing the same thing and no license. Yeah?
can you say by what percent increase?
No, well, it probably increased about 25% because if you're talking 50, 60 yards, it increased about 25%.
Mr. Ferguson, were you all at least able to report to the police, or have you all attempted to report to the police these yards that are unlicensed?
No, well, we continue to talk about it. If you watch our Facebook page and you watch us with our media statement, we continue to talk about scrapyards without license. You know, this is something very strong in my heart because since I take this presidency, a lot of us didn't have licenses, you know. And I was one of the persons who went in all over Trinidad to let scrapyard dealers know that they're supposed to have a license to do this business. Because long ago they wasn't studying about license, you know. And I better go all over Trinidad. I better take police also and close down yards, you know. Who don't have no license. So I understand it. And as a leader, I fearless and they know me. I cater for nobody doing the wrong, you know. I only cater for the right things. And everybody understand me about that.
And where does these licenses come from? The Ministry of Trade? Where these licenses?
No, the license come from the courthouse.
Courthouse,
You have to apply to the court, the magistrate, to be able to get a license.
Mr. Ferguson, can you explain further how big is this industry that would cause people to establish or wanting to establish illegal scrapyards?
All right, let me say this to you. Worldwide, world, this industry is over $68 billion every year. Some of that trickling into Trinidad and Tobago. That is how I could tell you it. And if you listen to the Minister of Trade, you will see she say between 2019 and 2021, the scrap industry improved by 47%. So you know that this industry is doing good. And that is why we continue asking the government to have conversation with us, that we could be able to do better in this industry. This industry could be able to employ a lot of people because of how we operate as an industry. This industry could do good for Trinidad and Tobago for foreign exchange. So we understand this industry could do good. And that is why we keep on pressing on the government to please play a strong part with us in this industry. Because all these things are taking place, it will be much more organized. And that is why we continue asking the Attorney General. We know that the amendment to improve this industry is sitting on your table, or is on your table. And we are asking you, please, take it to Parliament to amend the act that we could be able to function better as an industry. Because all this thing with people who just picking up themselves with bands and all these sort of things and going and purchasing and doing all kind of mad stuff, now we'll have to have license to do it. And that is why we sit down with them. We sit down with all the stakeholders. Since 2011, it was right here. We had a symposium with all the stakeholders to improve this industry, that it could be able to come better than how it is and move it to a different level. And up to today, we was in a lot of meetings with all the stakeholders. And up to today, it can't go to Parliament. And when we tell you sometimes they don't care about us because it's more look like poor people in this industry, they don't care, sometimes it'll be hard to say it. But it's the truth. And when you tell them it, they just vex because they don't like you to talk about poor people. They don't love you to talk about what they're doing to us as an organization. And that is why when we speak about it, they vex. They don't like us to talk. But they can't, they have to tie up my mouth. Because I will always talk.
Okay. Mr. Ferguson, just to expand on that point there, if you would, are you basically saying that a lot of these unlicensed scrapyards are actually contributors to the cable theft? And is there anything that you want government to do to deal with this? And the legislation you referred to in particular, what act is that?
Good question. It's already done, approved by the Ministry of Trade. We have sit down with the Ministry of Trade and we have do all the necessary things that we need to do to amend the act. And it, as I told you, it's sit down by the Attorney General. If the government move and take it to Parliament and push it and able to regularize this industry, then it will come much more organized. And we as the scrap dealers, we will have a stronger role to play in making sure people instill manhole covers, instill TSCT wires. Look what's taking place. Just here there's somebody thieving the wire going down on the highway. All these things will stop. Because when you regularize the industry, certain people now will have license to able to interfere, to able to do these things. And they weren't able to just come up the street and drive in a scrapyard. They weren't able to do that.
You can tell me what act is it that you're referring to? What legislation governs the regulations? The name of it? Sorry?
Metal policy.
Scrap Metal Policy
Yes,
Act?
the current act is the Old Metal and Marine Stores Act of 1904,
Okay.
but the amendments will be the Scrap Metal Policy,
Okay, so that's the Marine...
as organized by the
what
Ministry
name
of
is
Trade
the
and Industry.
Marine, what is the name of the legislation again? The current legislation, Marine...
Old Metal and Marine Stores Act, 1904.
Okay.
There have been amendments, but that's the original act.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more
Mr. Ferguson,
questions?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson, and in mere words, is the association feel as though they are being victimized by the government and maybe the other relevant authorities in this regard, especially given the fact that you have been seeking a meeting and it seems as though that you're not getting it? And secondly, how far is the association willing to go in terms of forcing regularization or, the amendment of the act, you say?
I was hoping that nobody asked me this question because I like to talk the truth. But trust me, we is planning something massive in Trinidad. And we hope that it will come true. I got a call this morning from someone telling me that the minister is out of Trinidad, but as soon as they come back, they'll probably have a meeting with us. But I hope and I pray that we don't have the pressing plan B. I hope and pray. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people in this industry understand that this industry feeds a lot of poor people. Also skills people, But if you watch all over Trinidad and you see how much poor people this industry feeds, and when we as an organization ask also for help, we in deaf ears. And we also as an organization understand the amount of foreign exchanges this organization could bring in. And we want to improve it. But we also understand the amount of obstacle in our way to make sure that we make this industry proper. And we know why. Because a big organization, a big large organization in Trinidad, they start to purchase equipment. So we know what we will be facing. But as I tell you, alongside I am the leader of this organization, you will always see me in front. I will always lead from in front. I don't lead from behind. And I'm not afraid to say what I have to say, long as I know it's right. If I say it in a way that you don't like it, well, hardly, I probably might apologize, but I will still remain the same way I have to be. People in Trinidad must understand that we, as an organization, you feel it's small, it's looking weak, but it's only when, if you do, well, let me don't say it, let me leave that for tomorrow, eh?
Mr. Ferguson, just to be clear, the gentleman down Barakpo, who unfortunately lost his life over the weekend, was he a member or was he affiliated with the Trinidad and Tobago scrap metal industry? Officially, was he a part of the organization?
Nothing, not above, nothing that you have mentioned. He was not a member of our organization. We don't even know him. And furthermore, the story that I get, his family is a poor family, and he was looking to help out the family. And I get a call from a neighbor who know me, where he from in Cuba. And he's a poor guy that was trying to get something. And if we go back to the same thing, if you put some system in place to help the young people like them, all these things will take place. We believe that we have plenty, you know. In Trinidad, I just had to talk this talk, eh? In Trinidad, we believe because they have public assistance here, this to do that, but they don't have nothing plenty for young people to do who don't have education, eh? And it hardly have organization that's able to know to talk to people, because everything like it corrupt. Every single thing like it corrupt. So it's very hard for honest people right now operating in Trinidad. And it's sad to say, but who gets lost because it hardly have honest people. And that is what's causing a lot of problems. They used to do all these things. Because if they don't do all these things, the place could be a much better thing. We have a nice system to help the youth. And we say, listen to me, we as an organization, we just talk to them every day. We just help them, we just feed them, we just counsel them. Even when they come out of jail and they have nowhere to go, we will help them. We will talk to them. And still we can get help from the government, and we're doing all this. We're doing all this to help the youth. We're going all the way to feed them sometimes when the day come. We're going all the way to counsel them, tell them that stealing or robbing people is not the answer. You could go and get a van and go and honestly pick up material that is not being stolen and bring it to our yard and you will get cash with. We also tell them that what other things you could do without stealing and robbing people. Stay away from crime. This is what we do every day. This is what we do every day.
One last question for me. Is it possible that an average weight can be given as to how many scrap iron or copper wires is being stolen at an average a week, a month? Is that possible?
Just repeat the question, please.
She wants to know how much is stolen, how much copper.
No, all I can tell you is a lot of copper being stolen right now. A lot of TSCT wire is being stolen right now. Because it's not about Chaguanas alone, it's all over Trinidad. And that is why we're asking for the meeting.
One last, I don't want to keep you long, Mr. Ferguson, but exactly how many families or how many people are legitimately reliant on the scrap metal industry in Trinidad and Tobago?
Now, the last time I checked, and here what figures I given you figures from 2008, because we did not do an update figure, and it was more than 20,000 people working, and how you use the word?
Like the families, you mean?
Families, and more than 20,000 people. And I'm not talking about today figures, because more people have joined our organization, more people have come in this industry, and we need just to check it up. And by next time we come, we probably might be able to have the figure for Trinidad and Tobago. But we could tell you that, because we're doing so much of work, Let me tell you something. We as an organization, we're not functioning alone in Trinidad, We all over the world. And the respect that we get in here is very hard, and that's why we continue sending out messages and continue, because we understand the value of our industry. We understand how much life, how much persons is getting and gaining from our industry. Because sometimes we talk about poor people, but the amount of people who have skills and qualified at different level is working in this industry. That is why we continue to improve. Look at the improvement. If this was one other organization, you would have seen probably I getting some kind of perks or some kind of big gift or some kind of thing. You're talking about the industry improved by 2019 to 2021, 47%. That is a big improvement. And let me tell you something, if they give us our way to get our shipping project going, I tell you, we will treble the export out of Trinidad and Tobago, triple the export.
I do apologize. I did say it was my last question, but actually I have one more question. Is there a direct number or contact that anyone who knows of any illegal activity surrounding scrap iron, is there a direct number for the association in which these people can contact besides the police?
Yes. I mean, we have a number. You want to get it? You want to get the number?
Yes.
All right, the number is 775-9580.
That your number? Thank you.
All right. We want to thank you for your questions. It makes us stronger, and it makes us push forward to helping us to make this industry much better. And we just want to make the last plea to our members to stay away from purchasing TSTT wire. Also, stay away from purchasing the manhole cover, and also stay away from thieving, purchasing things that people don't have evidence that they purchase it. Because they come in your yard with a lot of things where they don't have evidence, where they don't have witness or evidence that is them own. So we thank you, and the secretary could close it off.
Thanks to all for being here this afternoon. Be reminded to stay connected to TTSIDA via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Have a great week.